Hello everyone, since the harbor here. Okay, I've been kind of putting this off, like, do I want to make a video? Should I make a video? It's been talked about before, I'm sure. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like I want to talk about it too. Especially since it's now, like, after the flood, and let's see, everyone else is already, like, yeah, it's pretty much after the flood, and D23 has now been over for a week or two at least, or three, and everyone's just now coming down from the hype and the haze basically. And personally, I have my own grievances to this. I'm sorry. If those yeah, I don't know how even where to start, because I mean, like, did I definitely feel like Horizons should have been called for as the name for all this? Yes and no. But I'll get to that in a minute. I can say that, like, those colored glasses that probably were given to me definitely did not. The frames were wrong. The lenses were definitely off shade. I don't even know where to begin about this. Okay, right, so, right, so let's get into it. Okay, so D23, those pretty much watching it, you probably already know what it is, the whole convention, expo. I've been following it for a month, just to get in on everything of, like, what's been going on, before I actually give me own, well, before I did this, basically. I was expecting a lot. Everyone was expecting a lot. You probably were. I was for sure. But there's definitely no brighter days or horizons to what's happened. Well, I'll take it with a grain of salt. Right, so moving on from this screen, let's go to, well, first things first, as probably seen in most of the panels, the New Americas. Well, am I happy or sad about this? Am I happy that there's a new line coming to Animal Kingdom? Yes. But it's a new line in name only. It's basically being just plopped over something else. They're called the expansion. It's, well, let's out with the old, in with the new. Even if the old was the first new that they had, the biggest hype, and well, what can you say? The sacrifice that the park is making for this is, we'll give you a new land in exchange for Diamond USA. Now you think, like, oh, that's not that big of a trade-off, right? Right? I mean, you didn't really have that much going with it. I mean, its original take was this amazing institute that had dinosaur exhibits and an actual ride, which many people may know, may not know, was called Countdown to Extinction. When it first opened, and then when Iger got his paw prints all over it, he rearranged it to where it was supposed to tie into the animated film Dinosaur that was still out at the time to give it height, and that's how it stayed. Once in a while, it also had other exhibits, like an actual walk-in, like this tent expo thing, which stayed but didn't. Anyway, it's a digress, right? So the point of this was, everyone kept asking, like, you had Africa, you had Asia, but then why not something from South America? And that's been lingering there for a while. And so this basically has... No, don't get me wrong. Let me go back for a second. All this basically was hype for Well, Epic Universe, a little park that's owned by Universal that's soon to open within a year or two. And, well, that's happening across from Orlando, so, hey, they wanted to give a response. Even though I feel like the response is gone and died flat, but hey, what can you do? Oh, right, they're like, let's expand, but not expand. Let's move forward, but come back a bit. We have all this extra land out here, but we're not using it. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, whoa. How is this expansion? You're not proclaiming manifest destiny here, are you? Well, what have we done? Alright, back to this. Okay. So, what we're getting over in the corner, that big temple, is where Dinoland's famous dinosaur is sitting. Now, what does that mean? Oh, we're just going to annex dinosaur. We're going to gut it, and then we're just going to relay over the track system we already have in place. Maybe make a few twists and turns here, maybe not, and then just bury a temple over it. We're turning our institute into a temple. And I'm thinking, like, what? What? Okay. Digress. Okay, so. You're telling me that this lovely little institute museum piece that you have, and mind you, what's being brought in here is Indiana Jones, not South American, has been in South America, not South American, and he's on this quest for some mythical Quetzalcoatl or whatever monster. My guess is Quetzalcoatl. He wants to see the winged serpent. Now, the bigger question is why? Why put it there? Well, as a lot of people may know, may not know, the track system for Dinosaur actually was a copy, maybe a carbon copy, maybe not so much, of the Temple of Mara over at Disneyland. Instead of us getting that ride, when they opened Diamond Canyon back in '96, they're like, let's give them a new ride altogether. Okay. Thanks. But you use the same track system and the vehicle was pretty much how is this not the same? Well, I mean, erasing the asteroid, dinosaurs, Carnotaurus as the villain for a bit, but not really, because you're also you're outracing him as well as outracing an asteroid. Okay. Right, so digress. Right. So the park itself. Oh, right. So that ride technically could have been half translated if they wanted to, because you have a museum, Indiana Jones loves going to a museum. You could have also retranslated where you had a dig site outside the temple and still kept some of the museum pieces, because it's like the Institute's here outside the temple as the sponsor, as the backer that's trying to do all the research, and Indiana Jones has gone missing once again inside the temple, and here we are going to look for him while avoiding some traps in the process. Now, altogether, I feel like it sounds wonderful on paper, but how's it going to translate in theory? I mean, well, Well. Yeah. That's one for the ages, I'll give you that. Anyway, moving away from the temple. Over there at Restaurantosaurus, it's going to be a La Hacienda restaurants. Maybe not that name brand, but hey, it's going to be a South American, Colombian, Brazilian bake. It's all the foods of South America thrown into one place that gives you the same theming aspect of the Coronado Springs. Essentially. Okay. So, yeah. We're just... nothing extinct. That's the best thing. That's the best way to put this. No extinct shall exist after this. Like, no more dinosaurs. Now, technically, you could get away with having fossils here and there because there are fossils. There's amber mines. There are fossils in South America, right? Jurassic Park proves that, right? But no, we want no reference to the dinosaurs. Okay. Alright, moving from that, a little bit southwestern, we're going to the Carousel rooftop. That's replacing, Triceratops? I think. Yep. And, yeah, that's going to be a carousel filled with, handcrafted, apparently wooden, handcrafted, beautifully artisan figures of Disney properties. IPs or what have you. Right. Okay. Lovely, I think. I'm sure it's going to be a very magnificent carousel that rivals the one in New York Central Park. Right. Okay. I'm sure it will. Especially since it's going to be newer, but it's going to look aged. But it's newer, but it's going to look aged. And... okay. Alright. And of course, the bigger piece of the Pueblo. If you move a little bit north to that, you have, of course, the Encanto house. Casacita. Who doesn't love it? Who doesn't love the Casacita? Now, originally they had plans for that also in the back burner. They didn't know where to put it. It was going to be originally behind Magic Kingdoms, the Big Thunder Mountain, because then we're doing a What's the Big Thunder Mountain, and technically half of this was seated for that. They just didn't have an idea of like, oh, we'll put this back here, this lovely jungle that's beyond the canyon. And it's like, what? That was the back of the whole time? Are you sure? Okay. And now it's like, oh no, wait, no. Yeah, it was never back there, you're right. No. It belongs over here in Animal Kingdom. It's just been hiding away because a parking lot's been hiding it. A parking lot. Okay. Okay, I'll believe that. I'm sure, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the ride that they're doing here. So it's not exactly after the film. It's a weird place. You're bringing us into the middle of the film. Literally, is what you're doing. You know the expression when it's like you walk into the middle of a theater, and so you don't really know what's going on, but kinda. So you miss half the story, but you're still seeing the rest of it. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like we're being brought into the story halfway in. Mirabelle is still in her orphanage room. She's got nothing. This isn't about her, unfortunately. But sorry, girl, you were the sort of the main character of your story, ish. But now it's like you're just the background person again. Sorry, not sorry. Since apparently this is about this whole story is about the younger brother getting his door, his knob, or basically being invited to his party. Well, Mirabelle gets to sit there and mope. Yeah, I love the message there. Bravo! Bravo! Look how far we've come. So, we're being invited to the party, and on these mystical, magical, moving couches. Benches. Yeah, let's put that. Floating benches. Getting taken through the house. Okay. Okay. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Yeah. I have nothing to say about this. I'm sorry. Like, if you want me enthusiastic, no. I can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I would love to. I would love to. But no. You lost me. You lost me. I'm sorry. No. No. And it only gets worse from here. Oh, it gets so much worse. Okay, right. Moving on. Right. Now, this I can at least give you some props for. This is like your barely 2 doses spoonful of sugar. Like, finally, we go from a tragedy to something nice. The upgraded test track. I'm all for it, for once. Like, well, I'm puking over here in the room for this. So I'm actually applauding for this. Yeah, I actually did feel like, and I haven't been on the last one. I kind of thought I wish I wanted to have seen it. I've seen videos of it, but I've never been on the, I've been on the original. I love the original. And as a kid, I did see, the Water Motion, so, Test Track, the requel! The requel is a sequel to what's coming up. Kinda. Is it a much needed sequel to what we had? Yes. Does it deserve a requel name? Yes, actually, because they call it a drawback to its predecessors. The Water Motion. Now, how do we call this the requel? Well, we're going to be bringing back set pieces, ideas of what Water Motion was. A Water Motion around you as your car goes through it. A new car in the future, driving through the past. Wow. Am I enthusiastic? Like I said, I'm enthusiastic about the fact that Epcot itself is getting proper treatment. I mean, sort of. It's a sore subject with me. I'm sorry. It's a very, very sore subject. I am, like, the last time I saw it was before... I don't want to cuss. I don't. I really don't. Monetization. That's the best way I want to put it. Heartlessization. There we go. Even better. I mean, I feel so bad for Epcot. I do. It was a soft spot in my heart as a kid. Going there almost every single year, getting a chance to actually really see it as it changed, but not quite, because I mean, I was there during like the golden 90s where it was beautiful. It still had traces of its 83 going forward. Like, it was meant as a place for learning, for a chance of seeing technology, a world's functioning, world's fair. The Communicore itself was all about the modernization of the world and all that they can bring and inspire. Look in a world around you itself that's full of culture and understanding and equality. It was everything you ever wanted and more all in one. And at least you got to walk away with more knowledge than you did. A better understanding of motion, of energy, of communication, of the oceans around you, of the land. And no, it's like, what have you done? What have you done to this idea of hope and renewal? Like, I'm flabbergasted. The minute if I do go back to that place, I'd weep. This is so sad. What have they done to my lovely Epcot? Like, how could you do this? And more so, I mean, look around the world. Like, I from now on refuse to call Norway Norway, because the day most of them closed, they took the flags with them. You took the country's flags with them. That's not Norway. It's Arendelle now. It will never be Norway because you stripped it of its country. Granted, that ride was actually a tourist propaganda machine, but still, the whole point of it was for tourism. But a little bit of culture and mysticism thrown in. But, digress, we're going back off topic. Okay, so, Test Track itself. I liked the one back in 99, or 2001, because I remember there was a soft release, then a hold for a year and a half for functions or whatever, and then a re-release. Now, I like that. The whole idea of bringing you into onto the testing floor, where you got to see basically how it's made, how a car performs, underperforms, overperforms on all types of terrain. It brought the science, the physics to life. It brought the drawing board to life. That was fun. And then the one I missed out on was, granted, there's one reason why I would have went the whole customize your car thing, just to see how it performs in all terrains. Part of me kind of secretly wishes, like, if I could design like a Batmobile, maybe I could see how that actually tests on the floor. Oh wait, that's not Disney, is it? That would have been fun to at least make one, just to see how that would have worked out for you. Okay. Right. And, well, also the fact that you switched partners. That's what happened. The bigger reason why it looked the way it did was because at one point in time, General Motors was still backing the place. When they pulled out, they basically took all the theming with them, so Chevrolet stepped in, and, well, goodbye Ford, hello Chevy. Right, that's when they were, like, as you see that car right there, that was the design they were going with still. And instead of making this lovely terrain, they brought us on to the cityscape, the datascape. Yeah, I don't think that was a smart idea. For reasons that be, that's why they're changing it. It wasn't good because everyone kept getting confused with, did the MCP take over the place? What did you do? When I arrive through Tron? Like, what? What is this? Now, but still, like, I can't really say much about myself. Like, I wasn't there. Seeing everyone else's reaction, I was not there. Wish I was. Wasn't there. But no, I mean, now if you notice in the background, this forest, the reason why they can get away with this photograph is because oh, this is probably the final resting place of all the dinosaur props. Oh, no, the dinosaur and Ellen DeGeneres props. You already have 2 jungles you can play with, and I can see the bushes right there. The trees over there. Like, I'm pretty sure that all this is being redressed from Ellen's Energy Adventure and Dinosaur. That's how they're going to do this. Because technically that forest, that's a redress primeval. I promise you. That's redress. Don't believe, people. Don't believe it's new. It won't be. I promise. They don't got the budget or the portfolio for it. I promise. After all that craziness that happened after D23. I promise you. No. It ain't new. Look closely. I'm pretty sure it is. And if it was, yeah. It's Hobby Lobby as well. Yeah. It is not ever going to look as good as it does on paper, I promise. The era of Eisner and before, where when you try to make it match the paper to the reality, it won't happen. It won't. I'm guaranteeing it. Okay, let's move on to controversy. So, a little fun controversy. As posted by Travel Weekly. Let's see here. The Villains Land coming to Walt Disney World Resorts. Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. Because I actually want to focus on the picture of controversy number 1. Monsters Inc. The expansion. In name only. Expansion. In name only. You're not making more space for it. Per se. And as I've seen on Walt Disney World Pro, Luring the Eye, I've seen the ideas of where you're putting it. You have other places you can put it. You refuse to. You don't want to shell out the cash for that, but you shell out the cash to destroy property to do this. Right. Expansion. I love that word. I do. It's the opposite of what's going on. It really is. It really is. So, Monsters Inc. A coaster is coming to Walt Disney World. No, one better. A coaster is coming to Hollywood Studios Walt Disney World. One better. A coaster is coming to Walt Disney World Hollywood Studios in or near the Pixar area. Now, you could have put it near Pixar Place or revamped it to where it's Monstropolis, because you already have your IPs like close by. You could have put it closer to Toy Story Land, because it's within the Pixar vein, right? Right? No. What is going to die for this? Well, let's see. They had 2 options. Well, which one's gonna piss... cheese people off the most? Okay, what is going to hurt the most? Redress Rock and Roller Coaster for Monsters Inc. That's a possibility. Aerosmith is their theming is lapsed. The band has officially retired. The farewell tour was on and off. Yeah, I hope Zach Solid did get a good speedy recovery. But yeah, right. So they're done for now. Live Rock and Roll. That building now has options. It could have this, or it could switch over. And the other crazy idea is Powerline take over the place, and we'll get our Goofy movie references. Okay. That's their scenario right there. The bigger scenario B. Well, no, let's put that scenario C. The scenario A, however, is much bigger, where it's going to axe the Muppets building. Right. I mean, I get it. Muppets has been there, has not been there. It's been an ongoing theme that's been around. It's one of the ones that the current Disney properties are trying to shove in the back end of the portfolio. They're just trying to hide it. It's like, yeah, we have it. Just to flip through here. Yeah, it's tucked all the way in the back neatly to where you can see it, but you can't really because they're trying to redress it. They feel like, I'm sorry to say it, the current CEOs, and he's not listening to anyone. He's basically like, well, Muppets, right. It's been there, but not really one of our, it's not my crown jewel, I'm sorry. Carmen and Miss Piggy had their 15 minutes. Let's ask them. Okay. So much for nostalgia. And if that goes, it's like, nothing is safe. I promise you, nothing is safe anymore. I mean, the Great Movie Ride, one of my other favorites. That proved that rule. Nothing is safe. It's like Twilight Zone. Your time's coming, buddy. You're not safe either. Your time is coming. The Backlot Tours. That's been destroyed. Great Movie Ride. That's been destroyed. Yeah, the old rides. Your time is coming, so the CEO Reaper is going to get it. But, how do I feel about this? Well, I'm with the growing streaks of, don't do it! Please, don't you dare, don't do this. Don't, please, no, put it somewhere else, don't. But yeah, that's where we're at with it. It's like, people love this ride still, but no, it's no. That's all I can think. It's like, no, don't you dare, no. Okay. But yeah, to help insult with injury, Movision 3D currently, I'm not doing that, by the way. Yeah, something like that got Shades of Silent Hill, but that's because I live in Pennsylvania, currently. But that's actually kind of fitting, really, because like that's kind of what everyone's feeling. It's like this lovely lush world is definitely getting taken over by darkness. Like yeah, this lovely little world is definitely getting. It's definitely being twisted and burned before your eyes. I'm sorry, as much as I want to cling to the world I loved as a kid, it's really hard because of how much they're destroying it. My happiness is gone. Like, I might as well just put it out back with a tombstone that says, "Here lies all my hopes and dreams." But yeah. To insult to injury, the Metavision, as far as I've heard, it's being left to rot. They're not basically fixing anything. They're just leaving it as it is. From what I've heard, the projectors definitely won't be getting repaired. Anything that's wrong with the audio, that definitely won't get repaired. The two cranks if they're not going to work, then they won't work. Yeah, it's basically saying like the CEO's definitely, yeah, I agree. He's signed the death warrant. It's basically like it's time to, yeah. I'm sorry. I really am, to say the least, that this is, yeah. Anyway, outside of that, also, I'm pretty sure Pizza Rizzo is going to be transferred over into Harryhausen, so we're losing an Italian pizza joint and all traces of New York, because the New York Street is gone anyway, because that's what it tied in with, was the New York Backlot for the Backlot tour. Anyway, so we're going to Japanese fusion instead, so you're losing a pizzeria that may have been okay, maybe not, considering the food of the day, for sushi. Sushi? Sushi? This is about sushi? Celia. Right. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Let's move on. Okay. The bigger controversy. Villain's Land and Frontierland. Right. Okay. What is going to die for this? Well, what will die for this, actually? Right. So, what are they going to get rid of and put? So, as I was saying, like, I was not going to talk about Villain's Land until now for the Walt Disney World updates, because they both are in the same vicinity of what's going on. Both of them are going to be apparently going to Disney Magic Kingdom, and this is going to be the bigger. This was what was behind the Big Thunder Mountain all the whole time. The whole joke. Wait, what? So Encanto was never there. The Jungle was never there. Villain's Land was there. And again, Villain's Land. Let's just digress backpedal. That was actually a project that was ongoing. It's been in the loop, been out of the loop, and that was being talked about since the conception of Animal Kingdom, when they were talking about making that Mythical Land edition. This was in talks during like when they wanted to make an expansion, and they were making, let's do Africa, let's do Darkland USA, let's do the Land of Good and Evil. And at that point in time, we had, alright, so what lands will be open soon? And that's when they made the choice of, let's have Africa first, that's the big one. Going alongside it, we'll have Darkland USA, so you'll have animals of the current, the wilder, more out there ones for safaris, and then you have the animals of the past. Now, the bigger question was Asia or the land of magic? Well, Asia obviously won out. They just didn't know what to do with what they had for the other properties. Like this, it was a really good, great conception. Like this walking hedge maze garden, which like would have mirrored the one that was in Japan and or Shanghai, and the fact that the quest of the unicorn, you go through that and you enter this wonderful lair, under castle where you have this magical unicorn sitting there, fawning, and you get a chance to actually see it up close. It would have been a beautiful thing. And then on the other side of that section, you would have had the Dragon's Challenge, where you had a coaster going through a ruined castle with a dragon that will try to maim you and burn you every step of the way. Now, when that fell through the roof, because Imagineers are working on it, and again, this was during time of rollbacks and layoffs from Eisner. He just thought it was too presumptuous, and he wanted to push his own presumptuous ideas through. And that was during a time of when he was more focused on leaving the Disney parks itself in America, forgetting about Orlando for a bit, and moving on to Euro Disneyland near Paris, and then Disney's America over to Virginia. Yeah, his mind wasn't even focused on Orlando at that point in time. He wanted to save the money budget cuts so that he could open yet another park to add to his collection. Which, the one in Virginia, obviously, nothing came of it. The people of Virginia definitely, they spoke their piece and they were like, no, you won't do it here. Sorry. Disney's America will not happen here. Forget it. And instead he was able to at least get something out of Euro Disneyland, now Hollywood Adventure? Disney's Great Adventure? Something? Details. Right, so going back to the Villains Land topic. Villains Land itself. Right, so that was on the back burner and it fell out. And what happened there was brought over to Universal's Islands Adventure, turned into the Lost Continent. So Villains Land was put on the back burner again. Left there to simmer and overcook, essentially. Because it fell into what was once proof positive, fell into rumor, which fell into legend. It was never seen the light of day again until D23. And to make matters more crazy, we're now going on to the topic of what will die for this. Well, plenty of those who ask. This is what's going to die for it. The rivers of America. So, and granted, they have plenty of space. They have plenty of space where they could have moved it. Over to the side, down here, near Adventureland. This area looks good. Past Frontierland, behind the mountain, literally. That looked just fine. But no. We must not have nice things. Disney, we must not have nice things. So, the rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island are what's being put on the chopping block. Right. I digress. I don't know what to make of this nightmare. If I had like a laser pointer, I'd be love it. If you can see it, I'd love to connect the dots here. So what is going on? So Right. That whole space is being reconverted. That talks was, let's drain the swamp. Like, let's drain the rivers, which I don't know if it's true or not, but I think those rivers actually help the water of every river in America, and they just pour it in. I think, or it was just happening that way. But I want to kind of like lean towards the other thing. Right. Now, do I like it? Yes. It fitted in nicely. Because it gave that old-timey feel of like being either in the country or at least just somewhere serene. And I have heard from when I've been watching about the disability controversy type stuff, this is an important place for them. Like, this is the place where they take their kids to settle down and just enjoy nature. And I agree, you've got the goal to destroy it? And what everyone said, like, this has been there since the opening in the 70s. I mean, this stood the test of time up until you. Like, it stood weathering hurricanes, it stood everything, but it could not stand the wrath of either. Like, what have you done? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why? Why do this? And then it also digresses to we must never speak of histories old. That was the whole point of the destruction of Song of the Splash Mountain. Which, again, boy was he wrong in so many levels. He was so wrong. Now, I've said this before in many other commonplaces, but Walt would never have stood for this. Walt never could have stood for this. He would... No. This is one of his... This. Right here. This Noshiki itself is supposed to be, like, a full copy of... Our common print copy of his Disneyland. And this section right here should have stood the test of time. As being as he put, a beacon of, like, a chance to step into the world that the past is like. You can't appreciate history without, like, you need to know your history, or else you're doomed to repeat it. You have to be able to accept the good with the bad, our struggles, our triumphs, the triumphs of others. And this, what so far I'm looking at the Bayou Adventure. Like, why? What have you done? What have you done? And to be clear, okay, Splash Mountain got its name because of Eisner. It may have had characters on the song, but its name was supposed to be tied into the film Splash. That was the whole point of it. Which, now when you say that, the hinting of, like, the Splash Fountain over in Hollywood Studios that's now Miss Piggy's Fountain, and yeah, that was a failed attempt. I'm sorry. But, but the thing that you're now erasing it, that you have erased it, when it was basically your theme, but Disney's theme for so long. Like, Zippity Doo-Dah. That's all you'd hear 90% of the time in the marketing or their biggest song. And you've rocked it at them over this. Like, and on top of that, as we're getting a little bit more in, as I'm leaning towards this whole section, need I remind people that the animatronics that were in this ride were from another little ride that Walt had called America Sings, which featured song numbers, including one called The Gay 90s. Hello. And yet we're just going to paint it over because we can. Okay. We're just going to we're going to bring those animatronics in, bring them over here to redress it as Song of the South. Which, yeah, and I'll agree with Lorraine. I will agree with other people. Like, that movie was taken out of context hugely. In so many ways, it was so taken out of context. Like, I am shocked being a 90s kid and seeing what this nightmare feel is. Like, words cannot describe. Words cannot describe this. But, right. So, yeah, I actually do want to quote myself for, because this really is how I felt, and I don't know how other people. But yeah, like, it's a full, it is a full dive. Hey, let's see now. What did I say during the design video? Because yeah, I honestly wouldn't know where to begin with but yeah, like, there's just so much because I want to digress to this. Like, I could have said it better than the way I said it, so. But yeah, I feel like they all basically just blew up way too fast. Yeah, I just don't know what to say. Honestly, like, became like I'm still trying to find my quote. There we are. Okay, so I said one time during a design video, because they were covering this, and I mean this every word. Personally, I'd say people blew up way too much too fast over controversy that wasn't even tied directly to the ride when it first came out. As most know, it was supposed to be tied to the movie Splash, even though there were zero elements to that, so odd naming there. On top of that, back in the 90s, no one was that politically motivated for any of this. Any of this. It was not on our radar. And people just took it as something as it was just a ride. With a catchy song and a reused animatronics from America's things. I'd say for everyone else that have problems with this, do your research. It's outright playing cards without understanding the full details is sloppy. If anything, it's like saying history can't be properly show to teach those going forward, which the last I checked was what Walt Wood had wanted. This is exactly what he would have wanted. To make a brighter future, to take history, good and bad. Also, this again, like I said, this acts as literally the Zippity Doo Dah anthem. Like, I am appalled, utterly appalled by what they did. But again, digress. Going back over to Rivers of America itself. Okay, so they're going to drain it. They're going to level Tonto Island. And I don't like that idea. I don't. Especially when they had other places for it. Like those Snowcat Mountain thing that Cars is getting. I've said it once, I'll say it many times. You could have moved it over to Beast Castle and made that a backdrop. It would have fit in nicer because at least that was set in the French Alps with mountains around the castle. Like, you could have put it here. It would have been. You could have hit it nicer, but well, okay. Don't. Just ruin America's good-natured history and strip it of its pride. In all sense of the patriotism, which Walt would have been sickened by. Just to be clear. And yeah, no, he never actually would have hung the actual flag. He found ways around that because in the theming of Main Street, you'd have like these ribbons and this. Like, he found ways around it to make it look Americana without having like to say it. It was nice. It was subtle. And we're now just going to move away from it. And we're even going to just rewrite the books and say, well, maybe the stuff should have been like this. Maybe about. And in my mind, I'm screaming like, if you won't teach history properly, if you won't show it, you won't show what we've come through as a struggle, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. Furthermore, Liberty Square is more colonial instead of New Orleans. That's what they made it. It was supposed to be more like what you saw over at American Adventure. This was supposed to be more akin to like what you find in Concord in early Boston. Like I got no words for it. I don't. But okay, so you're putting a carbon copy, semi-carbon copy of the Cars ride in Disneyland, California Adventure here. You're just gonna dump it right there, and take away the boats, take away the water in that section, which it's going to hurt people in a lot of ways. They like seeing this. They like nature. This is sloppy, shoddy, and I wouldn't pay a full ticket's worth to view it. And if it's an outdoor ride, in Florida weather, good luck with that, buddy. Good luck. And that's just in the southwestern, southeastern tip over here, in where the island's half is. The back end is being gutted for Villain's Land. That's what they were going to put there. A smaller version of what Animal Kingdom would have gotten. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't say. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'd rather not know. I'm at a loss for words. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. This D23 and its horizons are so not. It doesn't deserve that name. It's not horizons. You're not looking forward into the scope of things into the future. You're not doing it. The golden sunshine, the golden shine of that said horizon. It's cheap. It's gaudy. It's 24 karat painted gold. Is what it is. It's fool's gold. Only a fool would believe in this. And then digress to the fact that after D23, you don't even have the guts to tell people where you're putting it on stage. You wait until everyone's left the convention center. You wait till everyone's gone home before you're like, oh, newsflash, this is where we're putting it. Like, how dare you, Iger? How dare you? It's as bad as when you're doing the Snowy trailer film and these other bad trailers, which, come on, Toy Story, really? Do we need a part 4 or 5? Or 5, because I think we were given 4. Do we need that? You're beating a dead horse. You might as well say, horse? Dead horse, meat fist. That's what you're doing with it. You have other IPs you could have used. Some haven't gotten a part 2 or part 3 yet. And Pixar has a bigger library that they still haven't touched their other better films for IPs. And yet, here we are with Toy Story. Alright. Cars. That's an IP that would have catered to, well, let's face it, only those who are kids or slightly aging up 90-year-olds, like 90s kids like myself, or the kids of them. That's the target audience for that. And you're barely even giving them that. You're dragging out a that's talking about budget cutting. You're dragging out carbon copies of rides you already have in other places. It was fun that one year when you brought over Soarin' and you brought over Rides Away from Paris. It was fun, those ideas. But now it's worse because you're not going international. You're doing this because you're scared of whatever Universal is doing, that you're like, this is your response, and it's shoddy. It's a terrible response. No one's going to pay for this, I promise you. Those that do, they're only going to ride it once, if at all. What I'm seeing is disaster. It's a shoddy disaster. What have you done? What have you done? But, again, I'm still leaving it at that. It's been my own little fun video. Hopefully those who watch it, please do like and subscribe. I will try to post more videos. I've been so lazy. I've had free time on my hands because I work weekends, so, like, weekend nights, basically. I have plenty of free time during the week where I can actually start making more content. And I've been telling myself, I've been following, if I finally had a chance to finally do this, and, yeah. I'll see what I can do. I was watching, this is Sunset Harbor. This has been my take on what I've seen for D23. And, take care.